Oh, hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and we're going to be back looking at another UFC fight night this time. This week, we're going to look at UFC Singapore, Max Holloway versus the Korean Zombie. Don't know much about how I feel about this fight, to be perfectly honest with you, but I will say I think the card is actually pretty solid, to be honest with you, mainly due to the fact that it actually has a lot of the fighters from the road to UFC. I believe they're running kind of like a final or something like that, or have a lot of finalists, or I don't know, but they have a lot of fighters from the road to UFC this season, and I've seen a little bit from the season 2 this year, and so far it had some really good fights, and some of those fighters are going to be on this card. So, and besides that, they actually put some care into and put some solid fighters on there. I actually think it's a really good fight night card, to be honest with you. So, first fight we're going to look at is going to be Seung-Woo Choi versus Jarno Aarons. Forgive my pronunciation in Jarno. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. This fight's going to be a little bit of a throwaway fight from it. We've seen not much from either guy. Seung-Woo Choi, we've seen he's a little bit of a headhunter, but Jarno Aarons has awful striking output. Both of them don't really throw a lot, to be honest with you, and neither one is a really good grappler. So this fight, I feel, is going to be a little bit of a blank kickboxing match where they kind of stare at each other, but who knows? Jarno Aarons could mix in maybe a Seung-Woo Choi, of all people, would be mixing in a takedown here or there. Either way, I'm not too excited for this fight. Liang Na versus JJ Aldrich. Ooh. I looked at the early betting odds, and JJ Aldrich was a minus 700 or 600 favorite. I gotta see. I have to pull it up, but it's not good, man. It's not good. Yeah, so currently right now, JJ Aldrich is a minus 600 favorite. I get it. Liang Na, not the best from what we've seen from her 2 fights. She gets dropped like nothing. Exciting fights, partly due to her, but the thing is, she gets her absolute ass kicked by her. Like, she gets her absolute ass kicked, honestly, by herself. JJ Aldrich, on the other hand, has not looked great either. We're basically picking between a turd and a steaming turd. I don't, bleh, bleh, bleh. And those early odds, ugh. Skip this fight, not picking this, not picking someone. Oh, by the way, Seung-Woo Choi, I think he's gonna win the first fight. Not picking this fight. Get that fight away from me. Billy Goff versus Yusaku Kinoshita. Yusaku Kinoshita, we've seen on the road to Ultimate Fight, road to UFC, and he was pretty solid. He lost his last fight, which was to Adam Fugit, which I think Adam Fugit is not that good, unfortunately, but he's been okay. Meanwhile, Billy Goff, from what briefly we've seen of him, he seems a little too wild, a little too reckless. He likes to strike a lot, got a very high strikes landed per minute at almost 10. That's some of the highest in the game. But the thing is, he misses a lot of them, and his striking defense is poor. I think both guys have poor striking defense. Looks like Yusaku hits a little bit harder, to be honest with you, but this is a hard fight. I'm going to be leaning a little bit towards Yusaku. I see that the bookies are leaning towards Yusaku, so that's who I'm going to go with. Song Kinan versus Ronaldo Bedoya. Song Kinan basically is really only known for dropping Ian Gary in one of his fights. Other than that, he's been really nothing of note, to be honest with you. He lost to Griffin, he lost to Potter, and he also lost to Alex Morono. Those are the only people of real note that he fought, to be honest with you, and he lost to them. So I'm not putting much stock in Song Kinan. He's got power with that left hook. But Ronaldo Bedoya, coming off a loss, but that loss was to Chaos Williams. Chaos Williams, a notorious hard hitter, power puncher, and Ronaldo Bedoya was taking those shots and smiling like a freaking masochistic maniac. This man likes to get hit. He has a 0-inch leg reach, according to the UFC's website. But yeah, I think the toughness, durability of Bedoya is going to be way too much. You're not going to drop this guy, and he also has an absurdly high striking output. A lot of people felt that Chaos should have lost that fight. Honestly, I thought he won it, but it was a super close fight. And I think Chaos Williams is better competition than the people Song Kenan has beat. Song Kenan has fought better competition than Chaos Williams, but guess what? He lost each of them. So give me Ronaldo Bedoya. I think this is going to be a big back and forth bloodbath, to be honest with you, where I'm going to lean towards Bedoya. Chidi and Njokuani versus Michael as a Polski, I should know this. Olik Zikjuk. Forget it. Forget it. I'm good with Kowalski, Pulowski, Andrzak, Jean Terechek. I can't do this one. I've tried it so many times, so I'm so awful at it. Yeah. Chidi Njokuani is a guy I've been really high on, Chidi Bang Bang. But his fight against RoboCop, ever since that fight, both him and RoboCop have not been the same. RoboCop had a little bit of a comeback last weekend, but Chidi Njokuani, his last fight, which was against Duraev, I believe. It was against Duraev. Yeah, Duraev. One takedown, and he fought scared. He fought terrified. Terrified of his chin. Terrified of getting taken down. He didn't fight the same. I feel that war he had with RoboCop took a lot out of him. Mikal, he's okay. He's got a win over Cody Brundage, which is pretty decent. He's got a win over Sam Alvey, which absolutely doesn't count for anything. And then he got taken out by Carallo Bolayo. But yeah, Carallo is pretty good. Really good, honestly. Better than both these guys. And yeah, Mikal has lost to him. I see people are leaning towards Mikal, to be honest with you. They have him spelled incorrectly on the booking website I'm looking at. But they're leaning towards him. I think if we saw the Chidi of old, not the scared, cowardice Chidi, I think he could win this fight. I'm going to lean towards Chidi, to be perfectly honest with you. But, I don't know. Every time I fade my fellow Polski, they just screw it for me. Every time I go with my Polski, they just screw it for me. So, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I rooted for Joanna again in a rematch. Both fights against Zhang. I rooted for Jan. They all blow up on my face, and then when I go against them, they end up screwing me. So I don't know. I'm gonna lean towards Chidi, but don't take me on this. Honestly, I'm unreliable in this regard. Got a lot of prelim fights. Toshiomi Kazama versus Garrett Armfield. I don't care much for both these guys, honestly. Kazama got his ass absolutely beat by someone we'll talk in later. But yeah, Armfield, I think, is going to be the slightly better fighter, to be honest with you. He seemed to be more technically sound. He seems to have overall better striking defense. And he seems to have... Oh, they actually have the same takedown defense. I thought it'd be the same. But Kazama's more guy shoot. I don't know. I think this fight's going to be contested on the feet. I'm going to lean towards Garrett Armfield, but not super excited about that fight. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Lukas Breski. Lukas Breski sucks. Waldo Cortez Acosta, despite his good record, I think he sucks. Not sucks. Okay, that's too hard. I just don't think he's all that. I think those people he's beaten are not that good, to be honest with you. He's barely had any fights in the UFC, only 3 of them. And Chase Sherman's garbage. De Lima is the best guy he fought. He lost to him. And De Lima, we saw, got absolutely floored by Derek Lewis. I'm not high on it. I'm not high on that fight, to be honest with you. I'm not high on this fight. Both guys, I feel, are not really going to throw a lot, honestly. Both are laying prayers or hug up against the fence. They have very high fight average time. I'm not excited for this fight. Screw it. What am I go with? I'll go with Acosta. One more bad fight, and then we'll get into some excitement. Trust me, believe me. Junior I'm sorry, I laugh every time I see Parker Porter. Give me Junior Tafa under 1.5 rounds. Unreliable fight though. You could see a Parker Porter lay and pray. That is a possibility, but I think Tafa will clip him. The younger of the Tafa brothers is not as good as his older brother, but them Samoans can hit real hard. Meanwhile, Parker Porter, my GOAT, the true people's champion. I can't joke about this fight. What is this? Finally, some good fucking food. I'm gonna say it. And Blanchfield, Talia Santos. I never thought I'd say this about women's MMA fight where I'm like, yeah, finally a good fight. They have some good fights here and there, but there's a lot of butt on this card, to be honest with you. Really, the Chidi and then Kanan and Bedoya fights I think are going to be fun, and I think the Golf Kinoshita fights are good, but those other three are kind of three are kind of bad. But this is going to be a solid one. And Blanchfield, rising star, honestly. She is one of the better women's MMA fighters. Really good, really up on the come up. I love everything I see from her. She was primarily good jiu-jitsu, good grappling, but she's really improved on her striking, and I think she's a quality MMA prospect. Dalia Santos is also a quality women's MMA fighter. She did very good at fighting against Valentina Shevchenko. Honestly, a lot of people argued she won. I thought Shevchenko won, to be honest with you, but I see how close a fight it was, and I think she's just overall solid fighter. My only problem is Talia Santos seems to be lacking in the mental fortitude department. This is a problem we actually saw it with Zhang Weili, to be honest with you. And a thing I will say, fight psychology actually matters. GSP proved that many years ago with his losses to Matt Hughes and Matt Serra. Sometimes you can be the better fighter, the better, more gifted fighter, which GSP proved, but you cannot be all the way there in the head. Not saying mental issues and she's like crazy or anything, but saying she struggles with confidence. I believe she pulled out of a fight because her coach or one of her coaches or cornermen couldn't make it. She pulled out from a fight, and her debut, she got absolutely annihilated. But she said, oh, I had nerves. I was nervous against Romero Borella. Garbage. But then you see everything else she's done and just floored a lot of people. One thing I will say, Talia Santos is going to be a little bit more of a decision kind of person, while Erin Blanchfield is an absolute freaking finishing monster. Her last 3 wins coming by the way of finish, and then she went to a decision against Maverick. She looks so freaking good in this division, and I feel, honestly, they shouldn't even bother with this fight. They really should have. She said she wanted to move up to bantamweight and fight Pena. Why didn't you make that fight? Why didn't you make that fight? I don't care. Erin Blanchfield, I'm going to lean towards. Rinya Nakamura versus Fernie Garcia. This is going to be a fun and entertaining fight, not because it's going to be a competitive one. Oh, God. Oh, God, this is sanctioned murder on the same level as Dawkins versus Khalil Roundtree. Rinya Nakamura, from what I've seen from him, this man's a monster. This man is probably folded and formed by the Japanese Yakuza. This man is terrifying. He is strong. He is frivolous. He does not care. He comes at you. He does not give 2 shizers about you, and he probably wants to eat your firstborn daughter. Fernie Garcia, homie, he's on a 3-fight losing streak. I believe it's 3-fight if you extend it from his last ones, but 3-fight losing streak, garbage fighters he's lost to. Oh, God, he's going to get floored. He's going to get floored. And you know the Singaporean audience, they're going to be rooting more so for the Asian and Rinya Nakamura, and they're not going to give 2 crap about Fernie Garcia. You're dead, man. You're dead. This is going to be fun to watch. Give me under 1.5 for Rinya Nakamura. Giga Chikadze versus Alex Caceres. Where have you been, Giga? Where have you been, Giga? My God. He's been gone out for more than a year and a half since he lost to Calvin Kattar, where Calvin Kattar decided he wanted to become a samurai and absolutely slice up his face with those elbows from hell. Giga's really solid kickboxer. Very padded record, though. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. His record is very padded. But to be fair, he was on the cusp of a title shot, and his liver kick is no joke. It's just that liver kick may be all he has. But if you have someone who's willing to push the pressure on him, and someone who's willing to take him down like a Calvin Kattar, then that's where you're going to see Giga Chikadze really struggle. Otherwise, though, Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy, he's going to fight the exact fight that Giga wants. He is not great, mainly partly due to his record, a lot of losses, but he is a very talented kickboxer, Alex Caceres. But talented kickboxers are the kind of fighters that Giga chews up, while more well-rounded mixed martial artists are the ones who are going to beat Giga. So give me Giga by KO. But he's never been finished. Caceres, no, he's been finished once. This is hard. I think Giga. But the thing is, if it goes long, Giga will gas. So this is actually a harder fight to call than I thought. Because I do definitely feel like Giga is going to be the more talented fighter. And this is the perfect fight for him. The problem is, Leroy's chin is very phenomenal. So I'm going to lean towards Giga. Method, though, I'm unsure. What is this, man? What is this? Why are these two rematching? Anthony Smith versus Ryan Spann? Like, this wasn't a fight. So this is a rematch from only like about a year or two ago, actually. 2021, 2 years ago. Why are we rematching this fight, honestly? Like, don't get me wrong, the first fight was fun, but like Anthony Smith just ran through Ryan Spann. That's what made it fun. Otherwise, I don't think this is a super competitive match. I don't think much, like, either guy has really improved significantly since that fight, to be honest with you, to warrant that. It's not like Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, where guys have improved significantly and they had an amazing war. This was just Smith ran through him. Smith has been on a decline. Spann's been on a slight incline. I'm gonna lean towards Ryan Spann in this matchup at this time. I don't know, but then again, we saw Smith run through him, but Smith has not been looking good. So I don't know. I don't like this fight. I think it should be fun. It's just I don't like it from a martial artist perspective. I want to see what the betting odds are. Yeah, Ryan Spann is a slight favorite this time around. So I don't know. It's a weird fight to call. And the main event. I spent a lot of time on the fight nut, the whole fight card, because this main event, Max Holloway face off against the Korean Zombie in the main event. Let's break down tail of tape first and foremost. Max Holloway is going to be 31 years of age, 24 wins, 7 losses, 10 knockouts, 2 submissions, 5'11" in terms of height. He is not 5'1". He is not 5'1". Forgive that typo. Orthodox stance, 69. Nice. Reach, disadvantage, a 0.28 takedown average, a 49.07 significant strike accuracy, a -750 favorite. What is that? He has significant wins over Arnold Allen, Yaya Rodriguez, Calvin Kattar, and Jose Aldo twice. The Korean Zombie, 36 years of age, 17 wins, 7 losses, 6 knockouts, 8 submissions, 5'7" in terms of height. Orthodox stance, 72-inch reach advantage, a 0.74 takedown average, a significant strike accuracy of 49.39%, plus 525 underdog. With significant wins over Dan Ige, Frankie Edgar, and Renato Moicano at featherweight. Homie, you have a significant win over Frankie Edgar. You have a significant win over featherweight Renato Moicano. Who else can I even put on there for TKZ? Because you know what? You know what the next person of note he's beat on this list after all those? The next person to note he's defeated is going to be Dustin Poirier at featherweight in 2012. 2012. Otherwise, even Moicano, 2019. Korean Zombie lost 4 years. He lost 4 years, all because of his military service, and then he lost another year from his military service. His military service has kind of like staunched his career, honestly. But then again, would Korean Zombie ever really be a champion? No. He had his shot against Jose Aldo, and he couldn't take him out. I don't think he was taking out Aldo. I don't think he was taking out Holloway. And now he's fighting Holloway, actually. So, that's just... It's a shame. TKZ should have honestly retired after the Volkanovski fight, but instead they wanted to murder him. He wanted Holloway for his retirement fight, and I don't know why you want a death sentence. Granted, to be fair, I do think Holloway's slowing down. This is going to sound blasphemous, but look at his last fight against Arnold Allen and his last fight against Volkanovski. It's the third fight. I think Holloway's slowing down. He's 31 years of age, and I think he's slowing down. I think he's reached his peak. It's just the wars, the damage. He's dished out the most significant strikes in UFC history, but he's also taken the most. That can only do so much for you. You look at him in his interviews and him to speak, and he has early onset CTE. he doesn't seem all there anymore, and it's really, really, really hurt. Like he's really, really hurt in terms of how he acts, and I don't think Holloway's the same. Is it enough that I think TKZ is gonna chin him? I think TKZ is gonna die, to be honest with you, but I don't think this is gonna be as fun a fight. I think we're gonna watch our old lovable uncle, who we all loved watching back in the day, get beat up by our other uncle who's just taking too many shots. I don't like this fight at all. I don't like it, but I think it should be fun, but it should be hard to watch, honestly. Max Holloway, we know all what he does. Straight up volume pressure striking, and he has a very, very degreed set of kickboxing where he will throw spinning back kicks, elbows, uppercuts, straight shots, left, right, hooks, it doesn't matter. His absolute diversity of his martial arts skill set is amazing. The only thing is you have to be a better fighter than he is to be able to negate that. I mean, better fighters, a better, more technical and patient and measured fighter. TKZ is not that. We're looking for an Alexander Volkanovski if you're looking to be Max Holloway. Hell, even Ilia Topuria. Arnold Allen is a very talented and patient and measured fighter, but he is not as good kickboxing as Volkanovski. Yair Rodriguez as well too has some power, some damage, some spin, some spin. He can pop on his shots, and Holloway was still taking those. That's all TKZ has. TKZ has power, but other than that, he marches forward like a zombie, and he gets clipped. He gets hit. He takes shots. He's gonna get hurt this fight. He got hurt in the Volkanovski fight. I don't think Volkanovski hits that hard. I don't. I know he knocked out Arnold Allen, but Arnold Allen has poor defense. TKZ has even more poor head movement defense. I think Max Holloway is probably gonna knock him out, and I think it's gonna be brutal. I think it'll be, I'm gonna call it third round knockout. I'm gonna say third round knockout for Max Holloway, and it's gonna be a hard fight to watch, and I hope TKZ retires. We were me and my buddies, we were such big TKZ fans. Like, when he was going up against Brian Ortega, we had like a whole watch along party. We're like, yo, TKZ's fighting, it's been a while, let's come over. I had so much of our friends to come over, and we're just like, oh, he got beat by Ortega so bad, and Ortega proven to be not as good as we all kind of hoped he was. And Ortega, beat the piss out of TKZ. Absolutely destroyed him. I don't know. As far as I can say, though, it'll be a fight. It'll be fun. It's always fun to watch Max Holloway fight, but I don't know about this one. So, that's been UFC Singapore. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Once again, this has been your boy Gomi. Bye-bye.